If you're anything like me, you live in the US of A. And today I'm going through the 50 states of the US of A and the most dangerous creatures that have ever existed in each state. So, without further ado, please welcome the first state in the alphabetical lineup, Sweet Home Alabama. However, Home Alabama was not so sweet back in the Eocene epoch when it was inhabited by the giant whale Basilosaurus. This was actually one of the earliest true whales to inhabit the ocean, and it was a hyper-carnivore. And growing up to 66 feet long, I believe it wouldn't pass up a human every now and then. Next up, we have the snowy state of Alaska. And back in the late Cretaceous period, Alaska was still pretty snowy during the winter. But boy, was there a different predator, the Nanosaurus, known as the pygmy tyrannosaur or the polar bear lizard. It was one of the smallest tyrannosaurs, but still an apex predator of its area. You're not hiding from it in the snow, as it was adapted to winter weather. It was even likely that it had white feathers to camouflage with the snow and jump at you out of nowhere. So, sorry, Alaskans. Next up, we got Arizona, home of the Diamondbacks. Back in the Jurassic period, it was home of the Dilophosauruses. No, not the scary, frilled, venomous kinds you see in Jurassic Park. No, they were not scary or frilled or any of that. They were actually much worse. Lose the venom and the frill, but they're still pretty terrifying. Plus the fact that they were up to 23 feet long. That's over twice the size of their counterpart in the movie. Plus, they could run up to 20 miles an hour. Next up, we have Arkansas. Oh, look at their little creature. That's adorable. There's no way that's ever hurt anyone. Unless you get too close to it, then it'll maul you with those giant claws it has. Yes, this is the Megalonyx jeffersoni, or Jefferson's ground sloth. And yes, it is an herbivore and mainly peaceful, but get too close to it, that's how big that claw is. Also, I believe this thing was the basis for Sid the Sloth in Ice Age. Our old pal Sid might have some explaining to do. California wolves are unforgettable in the sense that they'll rip you to shreds. Meet the maniacal evil dire wolf. Okay, I'm definitely not doing those last vocalizations, but let me just say, California wolves are unforgettable. These are the dire wolves, and they will chase you down. They are much larger than modern wolves. I want to say like 20-30% larger, and they hunt in bigger packs of up to 8 individuals. There's no way you're escaping from one of these. Oh, look, they were brought back. What a nice feel-good story. Next up, we have Colorado. And during the late Jurassic, Colorado was inhabited by the lion of the Jurassic, as they say, the Allosaurus. This apex predator grew up to 39 feet long and used its jaw like a hatchet. They probably hunted in groups since their main prey were giant sauropods, and they could run up to 20, possibly 30 miles an hour. Good luck with that, Colorado. Coming up next is Connecticut. Back in the Triassic period, Connecticut was inhabited by the Belodon, a phytosaur, which was a type of reptile similar to a crocodile. Belodon lived in fresh water and grew up to 10 feet long. Like modern crocodiles, it was an ambush predator, so if it decides to hunt you, you'll be gone before you know it. So, at least you'll get it over with, I guess. And here's that teeny little state we like to call Delaware. But don't underestimate it because it's small, because it had quite a predator. Meet the Dryptosaurus, a tyrannosaur whose name means tearing lizard, in reference to how it tears apart flesh. And it tore that flesh with its eagle-like claws. Not to mention it was 25 feet long. You're not getting away from that. And now for the Sunshine State. This is a state that we all know is full of gators, so you can imagine what creature I'm gonna say. A cat. This is the Xenosmilus, commonly referred to as the cookie-cutter cat because of the marks it leaves on its victim. Clean-cut flesh. This is similar to how they named the modern cookie-cutter shark. The Xenosmilus was huge at 400 kilograms or 880 pounds, making it the third largest saber-tooth cat. Its teeth were serrated like a shark's, and its proportions were more similar to a bear's than a cat's. It was pretty muscular. I don't know if Florida man could take him. And now we're going right above Florida to Georgia. You know that prehistoric crocodilian that ate dinosaurs on a regular occasion? That's Deinosuchus. It weighed 8.5 metric tons, or 9.4 short tons, and it truly earned its name as the terrible crocodile. It grew up to 46 feet long, and that's something you don't want to see in the water. Unless you're Florida man. Florida man, he'd probably want to see that in the water. Now let's take a relaxing break in Hawaii. See their wonderful wildlife as you acknowledge that their prehistoric terror was the 80-foot-long megalodon. Fun fact, we used to think it got like 60 feet long, and now we know it's 80 foot long. Aren't you satisfied that you know that? This thing could fit a whole human in its mouth, and it had the strongest bite force ever recorded at 40,000 psi. And they say Hawaiian sharks today are scary. Well, comment what creature you got, and those of you whose state was not covered today, I'll see you in part 2 or 3.